It's a blessing to welcome on one of the top players in the transfer portal this past year, and now the newest member of Colorado who'll be using his final year of college eligibility, Mason Faulkner. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah,
I'll take us
yeah.
through this because obviously you've been through a crazy journey so far to get to this point, but Colorado had an opening at point guard, fits you perfectly. This is where you're heading now. So take us through how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, I'm feeling great, man. I'm excited. I'm excited what Coach Boyle has to offer at Colorado and a chance to win in a great conference. So I'm definitely excited.
Now, this has been a crazy journey. That's what I want to get into so that Colorado fans can get to know you a little bit better. So let's head back all the way to growing up in Kentucky. What was it like growing up out there?
It's not what everyone thinks it is. I mean, it is country, but it's a little different. I'm from small town USA. Graduated with probably like 40 students. Went to Northern Kentucky. Transferred from Northern Kentucky to Western Carolina, and then graduated. So now going to Colorado. So yeah, it's definitely been a crazy road, but um, I'm excited for this new opportunity and just ready to get to work.
So you obviously go out to high school and you stay home for your entire high school career. Kind of walk us through that because you decided to go out there to Caverna. Why did you choose there and why is that the school you wanted to attend?
Well, me and my teammate Carson Williams, who actually is now going to the NFL Combine, doing stuff like that. So we just wanted to go to school together. It was between them and EKU, and Coach Brandon just sold us on, the dream, the championships that we could win there, and basically just changing the program, and that's what we did. I think they've won since like 5 championships there. That definitely was a key for me committing to Northern Kentucky. It was a great area, great people. It just didn't work out. So
Mhm.
made the transition to Western Carolina and changed the program there. It was when we first got there, we was like, I didn't play. I had a red shirt. It was like 7-26, and the next year we turned around to like 16-11. So
Mhm.
we definitely changed the program at 2 different colleges.
Let's go into your high school career a little bit. Obviously, like I said, you start off at Caverna. Why is the school you originally chose? Because obviously you could have went to a couple different schools, but what went into that school? Like, why is that the school you want to stay at and really create your high school legacy at?
Well, my dad just, he just preaches on, if you're good enough talent, they'll find you anywhere. So,
Mhm.
obviously, I had chances to go to different high schools and prep schools and stuff like that. But I just wanted to prove that I could play at my school. I grew up with, my teammates and my friends, classmates all my life, and it was just great seeing, just playing with them and going through high school like a regular student, not transferring and stuff like that. But I just really wanted to, make home proud. And, I feel like they're still behind me.
So that freshman year, you go out there. Can I walk us through that? Because eventually you really blow up your senior year, and you obviously have an incredible year. We'll get into in a second. But kind of take us through what led to that eventual breakout. Like walk us through your underclassmen years there, and really what ultimately eventually led to the breakout years.
Yeah, man. My first, I want to say my sophomore year, I got to play a little bit more my freshman year. I was like 6 man, 7 man.
Mhm.
My sophomore year, I actually moved into the starting lineup. So I got those experience and, basically just gameplay, experiences undefeated. So my junior year, I led the state in Kentucky. I averaged like 29, I think, 26. And then my senior year, I averaged like 30 something. So led the state in scoring 2 years in a row, and basically just kept working, man. It wasn't no secret. I just, just put my head down, kept grinding, not knowing where things were going just because I said, like, we're small town Kentucky. So we're just blessed with any opportunity. But I just kept put my head down and just kept working.
You end up being pretty notable out there, like you said, and you ultimately grow to a situation where you could have went to a probably bigger school out there, rather be in Kentucky or another state prep wise or something. Did you ever
Right.
consider that? Was it ever something you said, I could possibly push myself, I could possibly maybe get more offers going somewhere else? Like, did you ever consider that?
Most definitely, just seeing how the movement of high school players around my time when I was in high school, people were a lot going to prep schools a lot more, and
Mhm.
I definitely wanted to just at least try or take a chance on myself. But like I said, my pops was just he just preached, just if you're good enough, they're gonna find you. So I ended up staying, and I finished my senior year with like 26 Division I offers. So I mean, it kind of worked out.
So that's senior year. I really want to touch up on because you guys go 16 and 10 that year, and you by yourself, you average 36 points per game. You average 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, almost a block per game.
Mhm.
What led to that break? Like, how are you able to put up those numbers?
Well, my teammates gave me confidence, man. You know, they saw the vision, they saw all the hard work that I put in. You know, separating myself and basically they just helped me get to the goal that I wanted to get. You know, playing at the Division I level. No one in our school had played Division I in like I want to say 10 years, 20 years almost. So just bringing that excitement back to the city and basically just like I said, proving myself, just going out there, just putting my head down and just letting everything come full circle.
At what point would you say it kind of clicked for you? Like, when was that moment that you started saying, okay, I can be a guy that's going to play at the college level and eventually become a star there? But like, what kind of started clicking for you, and when was that they started realizing you could play at the next level?
Right. So it started clicking with my AAU team, Team Animal.
Mhm.
I played with them my sophomore year to my junior year, going into my senior year. And basically, you know, coach just helped me be a more of a rounded point guard. In high school, I was more of a scoring guard, you know, and basically when teams would trap and stuff, I would kick it down. But starting with the ball in my hands at AAU, you know, playing with other Division I guys, showed me how to be a more well-rounded player and playing against great competition too. I've always felt like I've been underrated this whole time, even now, honestly. Just if we're talking national wise, but just going out there and just proving myself. I just love to compete. So that was just my opportunity, and I tried to just take full advantage of it.
Manimal Elite obviously is Kenneth Faried's club team that he sponsors and backs behind, but what was like being a part of that? Because that's an NBA player, someone that's obviously played at the collegiate level, has played in the NBA. Kind of fun,
Right,
kind of being a part of your life and to a degree. How
right.
impactful was it being a part of with him, but also just in that entire organization in terms of your career?
Oh man, it was great, man. They've opened doors for me. You know, just so many doors for me and other people. Still continue to with the program that they got. You know, just taking over Kentucky. But Kendall, he's a great guy, man. He's helped me so much. You know, with connection wise and you know basically just being there. Me and him talk. You know, not every other day, but I mean we talk. You know, and he's looking out when I go to Colorado. Like you said, he played it for the Nuggets, so. He's got me some connections down there and basically just looking out for me, just wishing that I do good and to try to make it into the league.
So you kind of touched upon it a little bit, but let's go into that recruiting process because, like you said, you have a ton of offers. It wasn't necessarily a lot of high majors, but you have a ton of really solid programs wanting you. So you're looking at all the schools. You ultimately come to Northern Kentucky, stay home. How did Coach Brandon win you over?
So I originally committed to Northern Kentucky by um, Ronald Norad.
Hmm.
And he's now the assistant coach for the Charlotte Hornets, one of the assistant coaches for the Charlotte Hornets. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to play under him, but you know, he just basically just told me, you know, he believed in me as a player. He had came and watched me most of my high school games, honestly. And I basically just believed in what he had to offer. Like I had seen him on TV playing at Butler. And obviously that connection, you know, just being a student of the game, I had knew all about him and stuff like that. And he basically just sold me on what they had to offer at NKU. And once we got there, you know, I came in with 6 guys, I think. And all 6, you know, was key contributors to, you know, that championship run that we had my freshman year playing Kentucky in the first round. Losing to them by 7. And then next year playing Louisville in NIT. Um, all those were great experience, you know, and everyone on that team did good. You know, everybody's still playing. Well, not everyone, but most of the people are still playing, and everybody's did good. So that was great important.
You go in that freshman season, maybe it wasn't necessarily the dream role for you, but you still go out there, have a really solid 6-man, 7-man kind of role where you're scoring 7 points per game, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal. Like you're really a key component to this team that makes the tournament. Walk us that freshman year, kind of give us the ups and downs of the year.
Man, it was definitely an up and down year for me just personally. the first 7 games, I didn't really play. I didn't really play at all, honestly. And then Blake Spellman, one of my closest friends, he got a concussion, and it was like maybe his 4th or 5th. So the concussion protocol had him sit out for like a month or and continuing. And then my teammate now, who just played at Arkansas, Jaylen Tate, he broke his hand. So I got the opportunity to play, I think, against Youngstown, and that next game, and I had 24 points coming off the bench. So I kind of played from there on out my freshman year, and it was definitely up and down. But we won, and we brought Northern Kentucky's their first championship ever, and we're legends there. We're all in the arena and stuff like that. So it definitely makes all the stuff that went on in the season worth it.
To get that tournament experience, obviously, you guys didn't go too far, but that's always a thing that everyone dreams of, being in that tournament, getting called into selection Sunday. You get to see your bracket, like to be in that
Right.
atmosphere, be in March Madness is something that very few guys get experience. So you got to walk
Right.
us through that. You go up against Kentucky, the in-state powerhouse, and you guys actually keep it a pretty close game the entire time, only lose by 6 or 7, something like that. What was
Right.
that experience like?
It was a great experience. Just the atmosphere this was pre-COVID, so the atmosphere was just crazy. The games actually before that, I think Wichita State and UCLA had played, or Houston, and it was just great, man. Just the environment, coming off the first championship ever in the program, and just the environment playing Kentucky. The environment was unmatched, and I've been chasing that since I left, as far as the NCAA tournament wise, and that's why I feel like this Colorado decision is the best decision for me. Coach Boyle, they made it to the round of 32 this year, and I really believe in what they have coming back and the talent that they're bringing in.
There are 2 games I want to touch up on. Really was back-to-back games for your freshman year. First one was 24-point outing against Youngstown State, and then you go out there, you drop 16 against Cleveland State. How big were those 2 moments for you? Obviously, basketball is pretty much all based around confidence for a lot of it. How big was that for you in terms of your confidence going forward?
Well, it was big, man. Just I always knew that I could do it, and just to put something on paper. Every day you have to prove yourself in this business that we are in. So, just being able to prove myself those first 2 games and setting up myself for the rest of the season, playing and having a big role in the team's success was great, man. It was just, like you said, confidence, and I definitely rode that on out. And from that confidence, those games, I think Cleveland State, I may have missed 1 shot. I don't even know if I missed a shot, maybe. So that confidence, that first feeling of you being in D1 and you getting your feet wet, as I would say, is definitely a boost for the rest of your career.
I have to imagine also was hard because you're a guy that just came out of scoring over 3,000 career points, over 600 rebounds, starting a lot of your high school carear. You don't start the first 2 seasons, though. So how, as a player, did you embrace that role? How did you handle not being a starter all of a sudden?
Man, I'm not even gonna lie, it was hard. My freshman year was kind of more. It was easier, just because I knew I'm young, 17 years old, and I knew that I was gonna have a role on the team, but it wasn't gonna be to where I thought it was going, where I wanted it to be just yet, just because I had a ton of work to get done. But it definitely was hard, man. Just dealing with emotions and being a young guy that just came off 2 years averaging 30, points and known as a scorer, and basically just having to be a pass first point guard. It was definitely changed the mindset of what I needed to do, and it's actually helped me, just realizing the spots that I can make, and being a point guard with the ball in my hands, how to pick my spots and how to get the teammates involved and stuff like that. So it was rough going through it, but I see the benefits of it now.
You mentioned his name a little bit earlier, but there was another guy in your class that ends up having a really good college career too, and that's Jaylen Tate. He also didn't have a lot of opportunity. You got more minutes your first year. I think he started surpassing you by like almost a minute per game or something like that in your sophomore years. But talk about your guys' bond. What was like kind of seeing the way his career unfolded after he obviously left from KU?
Right. No, Tate's my brother, man. We talk, every other day. It's nothing but love and success, because we've been through the same program. We've been through the wars together, different obstacles as far as he was hurt the first I want to say the first year he redshirted. Then he came back as a redshirt freshman. And then I think he hurt it his junior year, broke it again his junior year. So, I've always rooted for him, and we've always, just besides basketball, it's a brother friendship, and it's great seeing him going to a team in Arkansas and then winning, and setting himself up for more success, more than he did at Northern, and he still won at Northern. So he had a great career, and it was nothing but best for him.
Then going to that sophomore year, and like I said, your minutes dip a little bit, but walk us through that year because there's one game specifically we'll touch upon a little bit, but kind of take us to the ups and downs of taking in your sophomore year.
Yeah, my sophomore year was tough, man. I had intentions of starting the whole summer at the 2 spot, just being a scorer because we lost our senior Cole Murray, who was a 6'8" shooter. It was tough, At the beginning, I was playing like 28 minutes a game, 25 minutes a game, and January came around and my minutes got cut to like 10, was it 15, 10. Some games I played like 5 minutes. Some games I didn't play but like 2 or 3. So it's more mental than anything. And basically I just had to look inside myself, man. I had to take a risk on myself and transferring. I could have stayed, obviously. But I just believed that I was better than what I was doing in that sense. So I took a chance on myself and transferred to Western Carolina, and basically just worked out for me.
You clearly then blow up in that junior season, but you put your name in that portal the first time. What was it like? Like, take us through that time. Obviously, it was a little bit different because then having a red shirt and whatnot, but walk us through that first process. Like, who else was heavily involved with you? Was there a second favorite school you had? How did it take us through that first transfer portal process for you?
Right. The transfer, I mean, just because of not having a lot of film, not having a lot of reps, and that year alone coming off my sophomore year, it was a lot different the first time coming out of high school than it was that time, with the abundance of school when I came out of high school versus then. It was definitely different. But the last two, it was I still was getting recruited, but the last two I cut it to like Western and Western Carolina. And I followed my coach that was at Northern Kentucky. He got the job, assistant coaching job at West Carolina. And I just followed him. I just believed in him and the role that he, and the position that I was going to be in at West Carolina. So, like I said, it just worked out. It just worked out for me.
So you go to Coach Prosser, and he obviously doesn't stay too much longer. He's
Right.
now out there at Winthrop, but walk us through that first year go out there, because all of a sudden you go from a guy that's not starting, getting just a few minutes per game, to 17 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 5 assists per game, first team all conference. How were you able to break out to that magnitude in that season?
Coach Prosser, man, he just let me hoop. Honestly, when I transferred, I just really wanted to make it known. Like, I just want to focus on basketball. I don't want to be worried about, the wrong stuff. It's just as long as it's about basketball, we can all be good and all be okay. That's why we're here for. So Coach Prosser, man, he just let me hoop and left it off to basketball. And I obviously knew that I could do that before then. That was not ever a doubt in my mind. It was just getting that platform and being able to, the coach trust you, and basically just give you the rock. And that's why it worked out for me, because it wasn't about anything else but hooping and who could produce. But I mean, every day in practice, my redshirt year, I tried to win the black jersey, the gold jersey, which is, who gets the most points at the end of the week. And basically I just went from there. And the next year just translated over into a first team all conference, and basically a great year for the program.
So that first time you do have to sit out as a red shirt, because obviously that's before the new rule that just came into play. But a lot of guys say that when you do take that redshirt year, you kind of get to sit back, you got to learn the offense, kind of get comfortable with the program a little bit better. How did that redshirt year help you?
It helped me a lot, man. It made me focus on my body. It allowed everything just to slow down, honestly, as far as what I needed to work on. My body wasn't where it needed to be in Northern, and I definitely wanted to gain a lot of weight and be stronger, just because I knew what it took to be better than I was the year before. And just putting my head down and still working and grinding it every day in the gym. and just pushing myself. Like I said, just putting my head down, and I just kept pushing, and it just worked out for me.
You happen to have another guy that just also entered the transfer portal, and he obviously had a very busy process too, and that's Xavier Cork. Walk us through your guys' bond. Like, how did you see him develop, and what was it kind of forming that dynamic duo, especially this past year?
Right, Zay's my guy, man. He's got a lot of talent, man. He's a young kid, you know. He's hungry, he's aggressive, and basically, you know what you're gonna get as far as energy goes, and he's not gonna back down from anyone. And he's got a lot of youth, you know. So definitely a decision that he made, you know, to go to TCU. Is only 2 hours away from his crib, so I understand completely where his head was in that process. And we actually had a lot of schools that was recruiting the both of us. So we stayed in contact and, you know, just evaluating each other's process and wants, needs. And I was just trying to give as much information as I could, you know, just being an older guy and knowing that this decision is the biggest decision in his life as far as basketball goes. And I feel like he made the best decision for himself and his family.
You mentioned a lot of schools were recruiting both you guys. Did you ever get close to committing somewhere? Like, was there ever a school that you guys both were interested in that you guys could have seen yourself team up at, or that kind of slowed down really quickly?
Um, not really as far as no on no dual package or nothing like that. But
Mhm.
we were both talking to Texas A&M, and that was actually in his top. It was in my top five, but it was in his top seven as well. So it just didn't work out as far as, you know, both of us going there. But we were definitely getting recruited by the same, you know, same type players. I mean, coaches.
So that junior year, you have 20 plus games of 13 plus, 27 on your 31 total. You scored 10 plus. But the biggest thing probably for you was getting a triple double. You get that back to back games, it's first in school history. And that's something that shows that you obviously are a very versatile player. There's very few guys that can do that. In fact, one of the few guys that have been able to do that is Mckinley, Wright, who you're replacing now at Colorado. But what does it take in the college game? You only have 40 minutes in the game. How are you able to go out there and get a triple double?
Man, just, you know, just putting your teammates in the right position to obviously score and just help the flow of the game. You know, you're a point guard, so you start with the ball in your hands. Um, you can kind of see the floor and throughout the game, you know, defensive changes and coaches' strategies. Scouting, you already know what to expect going into the game. So, man, just trusting your teammates because obviously you can't get 10 assists without them scoring the ball and putting the ball in the basket. So, just trusting them, you know, playing hard on defense, trying to get defensive rebounds, little steals, and, you know, just trying to make that the defensive and your offensive game as far as I didn't really have a lot of points in the games that I had
Mm-hmm.
triple doubles, but I definitely wanted to harp on the assists and the rebound. So it was a great experience. I didn't know it was their first triple doubles ever in WCU history, but it's good to be remembered for something for sure.
Go a little bit deeper into the rebounding aspect because points we know you can score. You've done that your whole career now. Assisting, obviously, as a point guard, you have the opportunity to get that if the shots are falling for teammates. But rebounding, you're not like a 6'6", 6'9" Ben Simmons type point guard. You're 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2" range. How are you able to go out there and out rebound some of the biggest on your own team, also out rebound guys that are bigger than you on the other team?
Right, man. I think it's just having that point guard, you know, IQ. You see kind of where the ball is going to bounce off the rim sometimes, and being that shorter guy, you kind of get to the shorter balls faster, if that makes sense. And basically just being aggressive. You know, like you said, I'm not the tallest guy in the world, and definitely not the strongest, but I just try to go out there and compete and just let the game handle itself.
So we're going to this next year now, and you've now had 3 years under your belt of a typical college season, no COVID involved stuff, but now you have to go through the whole protocols, and we know all the stuff you dealt with. So how did you get adjusted to this? Like, what was it like being a part of the COVID season?
It was crazy, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Like it was definitely crazy, one of the crazy years of my life, if not the craziest. But you know, just all the protocols and not having fans. I only played one game at home with fans, and that was senior night, and it was only at 25% or something like that. It was crazy, but just playing this year, you know, definitely one to take and learn from, and um, obviously, hopefully, the situations won't be the same as they were this year, but definitely just taking everything, learn from it, and just bouncing back to next year.
So your overall numbers do dip a little bit this year, partly because of inconsistencies with all COVID stuff, but your percentages go up a lot, increased drastically on 3-point percentage, field goal percentage. How have you become a much more consistent shooter now?
Well, when I got evaluated, they was basically just told me I needed to, shoot better from three. I think the year before I shot maybe 29% from three,
Mhm.
or 30 or something, and it just wasn't acceptable, especially being a 6'1" point guard. You have to hit those open shots to be in the league. So, all summer, I just wanted to work on my spot ups. I just wanted to work, basically in the arc, and I knew I could finish well, but unfortunately, I played this year hurt all year before the season. So I mean, it kind of made it more of a mental game this year than any physical and battling. Just trying to get healthy and get on the floor and stay on the floor. But it definitely, was the focus of the offseason grind, and it definitely worked out as far as the percentages go.
There were a few huge things you did this year, and that's including 3 game-winning plays you had. You had 1 game winner, it's a three, obviously a huge one for you. Then you also have another knockdown floater, another three ended up having out there against UNCG. Walk us through that because you are showing that you obviously can be a clutch type player. You want the ball in your hands with the last seconds of the game left. How are you able to walk us through the mentality and how you're able to set yourself up to go out there and hit game winners like you did this year?
Man, honestly, each one that you just named, besides I think the Citadel, a circumstance happened, and it was all God as far as the outcome. And actually, the Tennessee Tech game, we played them last year at Tennessee Tech, and one of my closest friends had passed away, and that was this year, and that was the last game that he got to see me play. So I definitely wanted to do to make an impact on the game and obviously win the game. I think I didn't play 2 games before that because we had 2 exhibition games, obviously because of my injury. But just that to be my first game in Ramsey was definitely a blessing, just to end it like that and obviously get the win. UNCG, I was out for 4 straight games. I was in the hospital. I just had a daughter. Her name's Briella. So that was the biggest blessing, just spending time with her, waiting on her arrival, and basically driving 6 hours from the hospital. And the next day we play UNCG. I just wanted to, just play. I was happy to be out there, blessed to be with my teammates again. And obviously it was a blessing, being that was the first game I was back. That it was the first team and the best team in the league. So that definitely was another push. And like you said, it just worked out as far as the three. I had a bad three. The second three was worse than the first one. The first one just went in, but thankfully we won and kind of shook up the league right there.
Which one of those 3 game winners this past year would you say is your favorite one?
I would say Tennessee Tech, just because, like I said, my brother had passed away, and that was the last game that he ever saw me play, and I knew I was emotional going into that game, just remembering him and just remembering all the past events. And he said he's always been my number one fan and stuff like that. So realizing that was the last game he got to see, I definitely wanted to make it memorable. And we was down some of the second half, and it just worked out as far as towards the end.
You mentioned also having a daughter now. How has that helped change your life? You got to take us a little bit more deeper into that.
Right. No, it's changed my life, man. She's definitely a blessing. I just can't stop smiling just looking at her and just being around her. I just get just gloomy inside as far as just being a dad, being her dad, and just enjoying her life. This next step is for her, regardless of what anyone else says as far as moving to Colorado. But definitely trying to make this hoop dreams work and stay in states, just so we can, be a family and I can see my daughter more rather than going overseas and stuff like that. I already have that now. Definitely made this move to, stay in states for her.
So you also had another huge game where you went 16 for 18 from the free throw line, another school record and career high for yourself. How are you able to get to the line 18 times? And not only that, but also make 16 of them?
That game, man, if you look at it, it was a bunch of free throws called for both teams. Honestly, obviously I had 18 of them, but their team also had a lot. So it was one of those games, the refs were, calling touchy, and I tried to just take advantage of it once I felt the type of game the refs were calling. And that was our first game out of quarantine. We was quarantined for 2 straight weeks in a row. We couldn't even leave. So that was the first game back. And, unfortunately we lost by 2, but definitely we had the chance to win that game.
The season comes to a close then. You decide to put your name in that transfer portal. Obviously, it's a hectic thing. We see there's now, I think, 1,400, if not 1,500 names now there. But what was your process like? Like, how crazy was your phone blowing up? And just kind of take us through the life in the portal.
Man, the life in the portal was a blessing, man. I'm not even gonna lie. It was one of those dreams that unfolded, just from a small town kid from Kentucky, chasing his dreams and, basically just feeling appreciated as far as talent goes and all the hard work that I put in. Coaches showing love, and from the top, teams in the nations, coaches in the nation, and just realizing the value that I bring to a team. And it definitely was another confidence boost, and obviously made me go a lot harder now as far as I know I'm one of the best guards in the nation, and I'm ready to prove that on the highest level.
So out of all your schools that offer you and you're looking at, who ended up finishing second, or did you have a second favorite school?
Yeah, so I cut my list down from, it was like 40 or 50 schools, and I was talking to Louisville heavy. I was talking to Western Kentucky heavy, obviously Colorado heavy, Minnesota heavy, Georgia and Cincinnati offered me literally like the day I committed. And I want to say Texas A&M was on there, and I think Memphis was on there too. They was on the top 7, I think. So, like I said, man, it was just a blessing, just having all those schools and all those coaches and the high caliber coaches that you see in the NCAA and Legends. Just hit your phone up, just connecting. And even if I didn't commit to their schools, it was just a blessing just to be able to connect in the basketball world. And now they kind of know who I am and my name. So it was a blessing.
So you're going to Colorado. Walk us through this now, because this is going to be a big jump now. You're going to Pac-12 basketball. You're going to fill in the shoes of someone that I think was the best point guard in the country last year. He had an historic career, Mckinley, Wright, obviously a fan favorite. How do you kind of step into those shoes and become almost what he was like, and obviously become your own self, but kind of fill the shoes of a guy of that caliber?
Right. And that's what I tell, every reporter, anybody that interviews me. I'm not, first and foremost, I'm not Mckinley Wright. Let's get that known. He's definitely built a legacy there at Colorado that's set for every point guard from, here on out. The team success, coach trusting them, and Coach Boyle giving them the keys, for 4 years. And that I can't duplicate that. But I'm Mason Faulkner, my name. And I bring to the table that belief and that trust in my own self, the ability that I can, do on the floor, make my teammates better and win. That's all I want to do. I don't care about, being better than McKinley or being, yada yada yada. But I just want to win, and that was the emphasis on me and Coach Boyle's conversations, and we both feel deeply about that. So knowing that, once I get to campus, it's all work and everyone's going to leave it up to basketball. It's definitely a blessing to have that same feeling at the highest level, like I had at Western Carolina with Coach Prosser's coaching staff.
And that's why I really liked you, because obviously we look at the whole list of guys. There's a lot of flashier, bigger name point guards come from bigger schools, but Coach Boyle went out and pursued you, and because you do fit a lot like what McKinley did, as we talked about earlier. Very few guys have the capability to get a triple-double at the college level. He was one of the very few guys, and you bring that over there. You're a guy that can score, but also ultimately at the end of the day, you just want to win games. And if you score 10 points, 9 points, you're fine with that, because you're going to, if the team gets to win. So bring us through that mentality that, like, when you step foot in that court at Colorado, what can those fans expect from you? Like, what will you bring to the program?
That winning mindset, and that team mindset. I want to be a great teammate. I want to represent Colorado well. I want to represent, Coach Boyle well and everything that he has to offer. And I want to represent myself, my name, my brand is my own brand. And what I put on the floor is what I represent. So realizing that this is, my first big opportunity in the highest level, and knowing that I felt like I should have been there this whole time, I'm not going to take that for granted. And like transferring from Northern to Western Carolina in the leap, and just proving myself and working harder than everyone, I'm definitely going to transfer that to Colorado. I still feel underrated. I still feel like I have a lot left in the tank, and damn sure a whole lot to prove. So they can expect that intensity, they can expect that grit, and they can expect to win.
This will be an interesting role for you too, because you're going to be one of the only older guys on the team. Evan Batty is a fan favorite. He's coming back. He's a senior. Eli as well. But you're going to have a lot of underclassmen guys. A couple guys returning that's going to become sophomores, but a huge freshman class coming in. So how do you plan to go out there and lead these guys, help them develop and be a part of their career now?
Man, just being that, bigger brother or whatever, man. I don't want to, put a name to it or get anyone offended or rub the wrong way. Like I said, man, I just want to win. It's not about so-and-so's feelings, or it's not about nothing like that. It's just about winning. And I want to bring that that comfortability to the team, just realizing having that somebody that you can, put your trust in, and you can, what you're going to get on the floor every night to lead the team, and basically just be that mentor that as far as a coach on the floor, and experience, man. I have a lot of experience, in college, and I have a lot of experience winning. And so do those guys that are still there. Like I said, they just made it to the round of 32. I think they made it to the championship game of the Pac-12 conference tournament and lost. So those guys know how to win too. And they brought in, I think, the top 15 recruiting class. So, bringing in talent like, we came in at Northern Kentucky. Obviously, it's a different level, but just making those guys hungrier, competing every day in practice, and what you do in practice will relate to the game. Just bringing that dog mentality and that grit.
So you look at the returners, you look at yourself, Evan, Eli, the three senior leaders, and all these young guys we just kind of went over. What can fans expect for this team? Like, how good can you guys be? What's the expectations from a team? Like, what can fans expect from this year's Colorado Buffaloes team?
Man, I wouldn't put a ceiling on our team, honestly. I feel like we can, if not do better than they did last year, as far as, winning a championship, and definitely getting to, deep rounds into the NCAA tournament. But just getting better every day, putting our trust in the work, going to work every day, competing against each other, having each other's back, and know the common goal. The common goal is to win, bring championships to Colorado, and represent the fans well from Colorado. So we want to be about the right things. I honestly feel like the coaching staff is about the right things, the players are about the right things, just from our conversations. And I want to be a part of that. Some people say it's a transition year just because Mckinley left, and he was such a huge part in that program. But we're not looking at it as that. We want to win a championship, and what we put on the floor is definitely going to be that championship mentality. Obviously, everyone feels like they're underrated, and I've always felt like I've underrated. So having that dog and bringing that dog to the table, as far as whoever it is in the conference, non-conference, it doesn't matter. Just going out there and competing.
What would you say is one word, if you could look at the entire package of you, the entire Mason Faulkner package, like what defines you? Like what's one word you could say represents you both on and off the court, like your entire package? What's that one word that describes you?
One word that describes me on the floor. I would say different. Like you said, bro, I'm not the tallest, I'm not the fastest, I'm not the strongest, but I found a way to get it done. And I've kind of done that at every level, as far as high school, in major now, and going to do that at the high major level. But just finding a way. The cards in my deck has been scattered, and they've been tough, man. And a lot of people I know have gave up, and just it's a long road. So I understand, and just just put my head down every day and surviving, and grinding everything out, and just staying patient with the process, knowing that satisfaction and what I needed and what I thought of myself may have not been there early, but it's coming full circle, and I can feel it. I can grasp all the hard work and all the hours that I put in, just paying off. So basically, just different.
Absolutely, man. Well, I got a couple more things before I let you go. One of which I was like wrapping up discussing your legacy. I think that's something that all guys want to do for themselves. So when you are done playing this basketball game, whenever that day does come, what do you want to be remembered for what you achieve both on and off the court?
Um, Hope. I just want to remember that, man. I just want to, I'm from a small town, Kentucky. Not many people will leave Kentucky as far as or visit. So just small town Kentucky kid, having, big dream hopes, big city hopes. Just hope, humble, and sacrifice. I've did all of those three, and I can live with where my feet are today and where they stand as far as me as a basketball player, and more importantly, me as a man. God is the head of my life. He's opened so many doors for me, for my family, and for my kids to come. And it's just a blessing, man. Just to keep fighting is a blessing. When you're out of the fight, it kind of takes the dog out of you, but knowing that you still have hope and knowing that anything is possible, as I would say, it's just a blessing. And I want people to know that, just have hope. Don't give up.
Well, you kind of let me on the last thing I'll touch up on. That's the biggest thing for me. I know it is for you too, and that's faith. So kind of walk us through your faith a little bit. How has God helped get you to the point you're at today?
I mean, just besides basketball, he's changed my life. I've had some situations in my life happen to where not only do I realize who is the head of my life and who is God up above, but he just shows, he just shows, and he's there, every time that you think he's not there and you think you distance away from him, he's always there showing what he can do, and basically he has your back. Without him, I'm nothing. I let that be known. This is just a platform as far as just showing, what he's done in my life, and how he's changed my life, and how he's affected, people around me just by trusting him and believing in him, and staying true to his word. But I can't speak enough of him. The light is in me. And it's just a blessing just to be able to talk to you. It's a blessing to be able to just keep fighting as I, just stay in the fight. And it's just a blessing to still be here, man. And I'm so blessed as far as the opportunity that I'm gifted with, and basically the opportunity that's there for the taking at Colorado.
And there's obviously nothing against guys that don't put out stuff about scripture, aren't very vocal about it, but something that kind of drew me, especially to you, seeing how special and how bright you can be, is that you put a prayer on the end of your entering the transfer portal post. You put scripture throughout your Instagram page, throughout everything. Like, why have you decided to really be so vocal and really be the light out in public and let people know about your faith on a national kind of level?
Because, man, I feel like it's not just about me. It's not about the next person. It's really not about no individual person. We are here to shine light on his message and him to the whole world. And I think people need to wake up and realize that more, that, their troubles and their hardships, just as long as they give it to him, it would be, they would feel a lot happier, and they would just feel a more of a relief. So I don't never want to be bashful of showing my love and appreciation for him. Obviously, I'm not perfect. Obviously, I have a lot of stuff to work on. I'm not, I have a lot of stuff to work on, but just for what I have and what I've done, and what I can see myself doing, I'm very appreciative of what he's done in my life, and I just want to continue just to bring people closer to him, make them know that the reason why I'm still standing, if that makes sense, and just bring more light to him. I feel like it's been pushed away, too much. And I feel like now, even more in times, with the pandemic, stuff getting taken from us, rights and stuff like that, it's even more evident who still has our back and who still has our best interests at heart.
Amen, man. Well, my final thing for you, Give Colorado fans your three biggest goals you have set for your lone season out there.
Three biggest goals. Let's go. Let's start with undefeated at home.
Mm-hmm.
Let's second goal. Let's win the Pac-12 championship.
Mm-hmm.
And third goal, let's go deeper than Colorado has ever had in the NCAA tournament. So if we can get 2, 3, I would be blessed to get 3. But if we can get 2 or 3 of those goals, I feel like Colorado would be more happy with the decision they made to accept me and their family. Basically, just keep this thing rolling.
Absolutely, man. Congratulations on the big move once again. I'm excited to see what guys got next for you, man, and appreciate you taking time to come on today.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you for having me.
Of course, also will come on, man. God bless.
God bless.